Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody and call the March meeting for the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission to order. And as our custom, I'm going to ask Dr. Gloria Bonner to give us a prayer and a pledge, please.
Thank you so much. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this new day. And thank you for the power of your word as our daily bread. We're grateful for the blessings of the Parks and Rec Division to your service. We are grateful for their strong work ethics, their dedication to our community, their compassion for other people, and the quality of life here in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. We're also grateful for their commitment to excellence in every area. We thank you, Lord, that we can do all things in your strength. These and other blessings we ask in your Son's name. Amen. Amen. We stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Bonner. Before we get started on new business, is there anyone here to address us with any public comments today? Don't see anyone, and I don't believe anybody signed up, so we'll move on. First item of new business is I'll ask the commission to look at the minutes from our last meeting, and once y'all review those, give me a motion to accept, please. Looks like we were pretty busy last meeting, huh?
I move approval of the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Mitzi, if you'll call roll for us.
Dr. Bonner,
Aye.
Mr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Montgomery,
Aye.
Mr. Roediger,
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet,
Aye.
Mr. Soller.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We'll move on to next item. Susan Hicks is here with yet another new no, this is a change. This is a little bit of a change over there.
Good afternoon. Yes, I am requesting a change in the hours of operation for Bradley Academy Museum. Right now, we run from Tuesday to Saturday from 10 to 4. I am proposing that we change that to Wednesday to Saturday, Wednesday to Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 4. It just gives us that opportunity to maybe extend those hours and get some of those people after work to come in. And those would be our summer hours, and our winter hours would be Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4.
Have any questions for Susan regarding this? Sounds like a good idea. If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion that we approve this change of hours of operation.
I move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mitzi, if you'll call roll, please, ma'am.
Dr. Bonner,
Aye.
Mr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Montgomery,
Aye.
Mr. Roediger,
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet,
Aye.
Mr. Soller.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Is that all you have for us today?
I've got Von Shell coming.
Okay. Hey, Von Shell, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. Tell us what you're up to with the Advantage Arts program.
Yes, Bradley Academy Museum and Cultural Center seeks to provide Advantage Arts. This is a program that will be partnering with Advantage Sports. Advantage Arts is a program for special needs and individuals with disabilities. We are seeking an opportunity to explore creative sides. These programs will be held Wednesday for April and May, so the 1st through the 4th Wednesdays of each month at 6 p.m. And it will allow parents with children ages 7 to 99 to come and learn more about the Bradley Academy Historical School in an art creative way. And this way of creating learning helps to develop many skills in children with adults, including social skills, confidence, and creativity. And it's a 4-series, so it'll be $25 for the series fee, $15 for the supply fee, for a total of $40 per series. And the potential start date will be April 3rd.
Okay. Sounds good. Any questions for Von Shell?
Von Shell, I do have a question. So this is a program aimed at children with special needs, or the whole spectrum of age?
The whole
It seems a
spectrum
little
of
unusual to mix, children and adults. That's my only concern.
Yes. So with Advantage Arts Advantage Sports, we gear it from age 7 to 99, and some of them are on all different types of spectrums in their age. Of course, with a parental registration, we'll get to know, we'll hone in on what their disabilities are and what actual functions. As an experienced person that's been working with special needs, we have a target group that same age, 7 to 99, and sometimes we'll have a 40-year-old, but they may not be be at that same area for growth. And so we'll specialize in specific cognitive and fine motor skills.
If I could, Mr. Roediger, our Advantage Sports program has the same model, and it's worked well, and I think Thomas might be able to elaborate on the cross-age function of how it works.
With our experience, anytime we're starting or developing new programs, we typically have put all of those ages together, and of course it's heavily staffed, or volunteers work individually with the participants. So it's much more supervised than a typical activity. But once we get those parameters, we find out people's abilities and their cognitive levels, we're able to make a separation. For example, the Miracle League, the first season of the Miracle League, all adults, youth, everyone played together. And then over time, as participation grew, we were able to separate that, where now we have a youth league and an adult league. But typically throughout the state, due to low participation, Miracle Leagues or these type of adaptive programs include adults and youth. When a differentiation will be able to be made, usually 2 or 3 sessions, I would assume, with a program like this, we'd be able to offer a youth component and an adult component. But within the special needs community, cognitive level may be same, regardless of age.
Well, that was a good answer, but I think you know where I was going with the question. Thank you very much.
Will there be funding or sponsorship opportunities available to the families?
Yes, we do have on the registrations, mimicking the same as Advantage Sports. And so they're on the registration. If they're needing funding, there's an option where they can say they would like it to be funded, sponsored.
Our policy with Advantage Sports, also the Miracle League, any of these special needs programs, we do offer have a registration fee, but then similar to other programs, if they request a scholarship, we don't vet that. that goes through without a fee. But we find a lot of our families, they don't want special treatment for their child. They don't want a free program when they're paying $90 for the other child to play baseball. They don't, it seems like we're discriminating on a different level. So a lot of the parents, we find a lot of families that they're more than willing to pay for the activities their children or adults participate in. But we want to give that option so that it is not a barrier.
Yeah, thank you.
And it will be on the registration.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion and a second that we approve this Advantage Arts program.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mitzi, will you call roll for us, please?
Dr. Bonner,
Aye.
Mr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Montgomery,
Aye.
Mr. Roediger,
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet. Aye. Mr. Seiler.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you, Von Shell. Good presentation. Next up, Ethan Kreisiger. Ethan's going to tell us about some new information on the Outdoor Adventures program.
Good afternoon. I'm here to request approval for new fees associated with outdoor adventure programming for organized groups to select and create an outdoor experience. Currently, we offer selective programs for organized groups that wish to take our time and lead them on various excursions and activities. This package would offer groups to choose from various outdoor programs to create an experience that's tailored for their group or what experience they're searching for. This will give us the opportunity to also market a multitude of our very popular programs. And then it will also allow the public to be able to choose one or multiple programs based off of an a la carte menu to be charged accordingly for whatever adventure they're choosing.
Okay. Any questions for Ethan?
I grew up when kids played outside, and you heard those happy sounds, and we learned to play together and fight together. We'd brush it off. Could you share some of the outdoor activities that you had
Yes.
in mind?
We have a wide range of activities for various skills, whether it's based on learning skills used in outdoors or simply just playing outside. Right now, a lot of popular programs are based around, of course, with the warmer weather, water-based programs such as kayaking, paddleboarding, creek snorkeling, stuff like that. But we also have other things like archery, simple hikes, wildlife watching, and then we also do various traveling excursions. Like, for instance, this Saturday we're going to Machine Falls to go hike around, look at all the waterfalls, enjoy nature.
Thank you.
These are extremely reasonable prices for what you're doing. I just wonder, it says minimum of 10. Do you not do the class or the activity if there's not 10 people involved? Or?
We can. That's essentially for a larger group from this based off this menu. We would like a larger group just to make it worth it for taking away employees from other jobs. Besides this, we also have scheduled programming throughout every month where, like for instance, this afternoon, we only have 2 people that want to come do archery. Because of the weather, I think it might have scared off a couple, but I feel like those might be best for the public, but this would be more catered towards organized groups that would like to have a scheduled event.
You want to take your ball team kayaking?
Yeah.
They'd probably enjoy it. I'm sure they would enjoy it.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion and a second that we approve this new program for Outdoor Murfreesboro.
I move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mitzi, if you'll call roll, please.
Dr. Bonner,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Montgomery,
Aye.
Mr. Roediger,
Aye.
Mr. Shacklet,
Aye.
Mr. Seiler.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Have fun. It looks like fun. Okay, next up, Kristen Hopkins. Always look forward to seeing you and
Thank
hearing your
you.
reports.
Thank you. All right, today I'm going to give you guys your much overdue bird survey update. We are in our second year, about to wrap up our second year of bird surveys, moving into our third year with the new budget season. And so we have more data to share as we've wrapped up three new natural areas of study that we've been working on. Just as a reminder, I've already discussed Murphy Springs, Sinking Creek, and Gateway Island results. Today I'm going to talk about Old Fort Park, North Greenway, and Siegel Park. But first, I want to step back and look at Murphy Spring real quick, because this piece of data is pretty interesting to me as a natural areas manager. At Murphy Spring, we have this particular bird species that is hanging out there. It's called a rusty blackbird, and it is seeing significant declines in its population, like significant, 95% population loss over the last 40 years. There's a lot of question about why that's happening. Not really sure, but at Murphy Spring, on a March day in 2022, over 50 of these species were counted at Murphy Spring. And I think that just kind of shows the importance of these areas in our community. Okay, looking at Old Fort Park. Old Fort Park is, yes, okay, so this is the count area at Old Fort Park. This is representing about 8.5 acres, and it's the area that immediately surrounds the creek that runs through there. So we're not counting the whole park, we're just looking at the natural area in the center of the park, just to orient you. What's really interesting about this is that 8.5 acres is being counted, but we're seeing comparable numbers of distinct species found in this small area like we are in our 20 to 30 acre urban park areas. And so that is pretty cool. So one of the birds that we've seen there is the Kentucky warbler. This is another species that's in decline, but they are there and they are able to utilize that space for their needs. This kind of situation where we're seeing a small-scale acreage supporting a lot of different distinct species kind of attests to the landscape around it. At Old Fort Park, it's an urban park, so we've got gray infrastructure to the west, south, and east of it, but to the north of it we have the battlefield, and we have the more natural area of Lytle Creek coming through the north side of that. So all of that together is providing a lot of distinct species, and it's also supporting different kinds of species and different kinds of habitats. So in this very small area, we're seeing grassland species, woodland species, lowland species. So it's pretty cool. It also supports the highly invasive and aggressive house sparrow. That is also indicative of the surrounding landscape there. That bird is a very challenging bird to deal with. So our future management strategies are to just improve the habitat for open woodland, and then support the shrubby riparian area along that creek, and kind of just restore those. It's a little messy right now, but that is our plan, to manage that area for those particular types of habitat. Okay, next up is the North Greenway. We broke it up into two sections, Walter Hill to Central Valley, and then Central Valley Loop and back. And that represents 57 acres, managed acres on the Walter Hill side, and then 77 acres on the Central Valley Loop side. So this area is supporting many different kinds of birds. As you can see, 128 distinct species of birds in this large area. What is significant about this area is that it is supporting large birds of prey. These are top kind of predators. And the fact that they are there and the fact that they're nesting, they're building families in this space, tells us that protecting that riparian zone and having the Central Valley open, the Coleman Farm open area, the disc golf area, having all of that open space, it's doing its job. This is really good habitat for these birds. And so, go us, thumbs up, we did it. So it's really great to have these species here. There is bald eagles nesting up there, great horned owls nesting, red-shouldered hawks, all kinds of birds. So pretty cool. The immediate concern with the North Greenway is kudzu. Just so you know, this is what kudzu does to any area, and it does it quickly. So if we don't get on top of that, the North Greenway will look like that in a few short years. So that is our immediate management concern. And if that happens, all of these wonderful bird species, those numbers will decline if we don't get on top of that.
What's the remedy for that?
Hand-to-hand combat. So we will likely, because it is such a big issue and we have to get on it quickly, we'll likely, hopefully, be able to contract some of that work out to help us out. You know, our team is very small and we have quite a bit to manage, but we do have resources available, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of that work contracted to kill it. Yeah.
Is this something that you'd have to do, when I look at this picture here, you know, probably once a year, something? That's what.
Yeah, this is something that you'd have to consistently stay on top of. So this particular plant grows 1 to 3 feet like a day. So it can grow 60 feet in a growing season. So the location of it currently it's not the greatest. It's on a steep slope right next to 231, so it's not safe either. So it's difficult to get volunteers out there. So that's why we're hoping we can budget for some contract work to help us fight that particular battle.
This picture, it's not out there. This is just an example, or is
This is just an example.
Okay.
Like if you go, no, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Oh, well, you said that. I was just making that clear to myself.
No, this is not the current state of the North Greenway, but this is what.
It looks very familiar. When we lived in Atlanta, the last thing you want to deal with is kudzu.
It's invasive. That's,
It is.
You know,
It really is.
I mean, even if that's not indicative, I mean, it's invasive.
Yeah.
I
And
thought
you
it
could see
was the back of my house there.
Oh, no, that's bad. But you can see this if you're driving down Interstate 65 heading towards Alabama, you know, all over the place. So it is a very nasty thing. All right. The last place that we finished up is Siegel Park. And Siegel Park is such a special place. It has habitat in it that is, it's imperiled habitat. So this is kind of a really cool place that a lot of people can come to and see rare and endangered species that you would see nowhere else in the world. And so that also pertains to our birds that live there. These two particular species of birds, that's the prairie warbler, that's also seeing a significant decline. But the eastern meadowlark, which is a true grassland species, is seeing 75% population loss. This is over the past 40 years. And that is because those grassland habitats are disappearing exponentially. So what the bird data is telling us out there is that there's a lot of shrub species. These are bird species that kind of hang out in the shrubby layers. That's where they hunt and eat and nest. And so we're seeing a lot of those out there. What we're not seeing and what we should be seeing are bobwhite quail and wild turkey. These are other grassland species that we should be seeing out there, but we're not. So that's something that we need to take into account as we develop our management strategies around Siegel. So our management strategies for that spot is grassland restoration, shrub restoration. We need to get those calorie pears out of there. So don't plant Bradford pears. That's my public service announcement for today. Don't plant them. They are invasive. They say they're sterile. That is not true. So. And then just to continue to advocate for, expanding that grassland habitat. It is, again, such a unique habitat to have, and we're so fortunate that we have it out at Siegel. So any questions about that, Siegel, or anything? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the count area for Siegel. So we're looking at the wet glade system that's to the southwest, and then up around to the top. And then there's a creek that flows through there. And so that's the count area of Siegel, which is supporting quite a bit of species diversity. Just to compare numbers, we are counting approximately within 242 acres. And there are about 430 to 400 species of birds that have been recorded in the state of Tennessee. And our small area of acreage is seeing like good distinct species numbers. So 238 distinct species in our parks, natural areas. So those are good numbers to have. And again, I think it just is a testament to how critical having these natural areas within our parks is. So, any questions about these numbers? There's a few weird things going on there. I kind of already talked about why we're seeing so many birds at Gateway, but why we're seeing not as many distinct species. That's just habitat degradation and lots of domestic ducks out there. So that's what that disparity.
Yeah, this is great information, thank you. And I think it really helps drive home the importance of a lot of work that's been done the last 20, 30 years preserving green space in this community. And as we continue to grow like we're growing, the importance of this space becomes more and more vital to our quality of life. So this is great information.
I agree.
Is this information on our website? I'd be interested to.
I don't think it is, but we can absolutely get it out there and see if we can work with our communications team. Yeah.
Being more aware of this, because I don't think the public is aware of this. And another question, how are you getting your count? I mean, how are you arriving at these numbers?
So we are working with an ornithologist. So this is a person who knows birds, can like identify them by their call, that sort of thing. Right. And so the strategy is that we are going out to each area twice a month and doing counts in these natural areas. So it is significantly more data collection than, say, just seasonal counts or something.
Bald eagles have been sighted, nesting?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
My goodness. Yeah, the public needs to know that.
So a lot of times, Councilman, we'll take the information from here, and then we'll work with our internal marketing team and communications team to get that out. So we wanted you to hear it first, and then we'll come up with a plan to get that information out.
Awesome.
Yeah. In fact, John and I were speaking before this, and he wants to do a news break about the bird survey. So we'll work on that.
Excellent. Great.
Is there a way to do like bird bingo or some encouraging bird watching and how many species you can identify and to bring home to people that this is out there?
Yeah, so the Wilderness Station has done that sort of thing in the past for younger folks who maybe don't have that ID knowledge. But we also open up our bird counts to volunteers who want to participate and kind of learn more how to do that, how to identify birds as they're flying by very quickly, So yeah, there are programs in place around this. We do have a very active birding group in this town, so and we're in tune with that. Our volunteer coordinator is a part of that group. And so when anything interesting happens at Murphy Spring, you can just see basically a flock of birders, so to speak, arriving at Murphy Spring and just taking their pictures and stuff. It's good. It's a good group of people. So, and then there is eBird too, which is a community citizen science app-based program where anybody in the community can log the birds that they're seeing around town.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to get the word out because to Bill's point, you get down the road and you're presenting numbers and you've got a line item there for an expense. Somebody thinks that, who thought of that and just threw that in there and put a number with it. Well, these are results from those expenditures, and I think it really is important that folks know that. We can make an immediate correlation there for an explanation. We know that Nate struggles with those kinds of things sometimes.
No, he's good at it.
Just messing with you, Nate.
Right.
All right, great.
Any other questions?
Okay. I did want to share this infographic to wrap this up, and I'll stop talking here in a minute. But every 5 years, U.S. Fish and Wildlife does a survey, a nationwide survey, about how people engage with the outdoor and recreation. And this blew my mind when I saw this. In 2022, $250 billion of revenue was generated just through wildlife watching all across the nation. That's not hunting, that's not fishing, that's wildlife watching. So I think this is really indicative of what people in our country are looking to do to get out, be healthy, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, whatever you can do. But also, $250 billion is nothing to sneeze at. So I think that was a really significant number. And I was surprised to see that. So
That's cool information.
yeah. The full survey, which is really long, but if you do want to know further survey results and the methodology that they used to gather those data points, that's in the 2022 National Survey of Fishing, Hunting, and Wildlife Associated Recreation, which you can just search for that online. Okay, I have many more things to share, but we'll save that for next time. The next time you see me, I hope to give you good news about our youth-led program that I spoke about last time, 2023 volunteer stats, Murphy Spring litter boom update, plant project highlights, and then I'd love to give you guys a sneak peek at our GIS projects that we're working on in the Natural Resource Division. So this is me. Anyone watching at home or in this room, any questions about anything I've spoken about or are looking for ways to get involved in what we do, please contact me. I will be glad to speak to you about that. So if nothing else, that's me for today.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank
What
you.
a great report. It's all good news. And we're very thankful for our green space areas and the wildlife that's in there. Very lucky. Okay, next on the agenda, another one of our favorites, Bart Fight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here today to give you a report on our BOGO sale that we just finished up in the middle of January. And I think Mitzi was nice enough to pass out, in front of you the results from this past year and a few years before that. So what I want to point out is that, we did Patterson and also Sportscom did, better than last year. We both had a good year of revenue for our BOGO sale, and you can go back. We handed out through the earlier years when COVID hit, and that really hurt us back in the 2020-21. But we've rebounded from there and had a great year this past year. I can tell you that. They've already started asking about when is it next year, but we finally just got through. I can tell you that a couple of times I ran out of tickets and passes, and I had to call Lynn and Kim, and they had to bail me out to go down to get some more on the weekend. So they bailed me out there. So, but we had a great sale. We really enjoyed it, and I think people ask about it. I even have some people, I've had a few people come in and donate a pass. They don't want their name mentioned, but they'll go ahead and give the money for somebody who's maybe less fortunate, can't afford it. And we've had, 4 or 5 this past year do that. So that shows what kind of people we have here in town. So other than that, if you see the figures, Patterson did well, we did well. So that was a great thing that we started years ago. And one thing that I think has really helped, we put in there, if you bought a pass, we'd give you so many free passes to hand out to your friends, relatives, or somebody that might be interested. We think when we get them in the building and show them what we can offer at Patterson, also Sportscom, we can get them in there to try it, and hopefully we can get them signed up and come back year after year. So it's been a great deal when we to put that in. Other than that, I've got a few more things, but any questions on the BOGO sale?
I just had one quick thing. I emailed this commission just as an update item, but we extended buy one, get one by 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. This year we had some credit card issues processing for the 2 weeks leading towards the extension, so we went ahead and administratively extended that, and I think that was able to, serve our customers well.
Yeah. So what, a few things coming up at Sportscom is, of course, we're looking toward the summer already, and we're offering some lifeguard classes, getting some lifeguards in there, get them ready to go. We are going to replaster the outdoor pool before we open up, which it'll be a great amenity to our facility. We will be closed a few days in early April to get the restrooms clean, get our gym floor, aerobic room floors refinished and ready to go for the spring. We have started pavilion rentals, taking those at Sportscom. People can call in and reserve starting April 1st at the pavilion. We have been working on registering for the pavilions and our online registration through Janelle and Tommy Gregory, really working on that to get that all set up for all our facilities. And they have another meeting this Friday, and that's going real well. If you pass by there now, if the weather's good, you'll see teams outside practicing. We're getting ready to crank up the girls softball and also the Little League Baseball over at Starplex. With that, I want to thank all the volunteer coaches that have coached for years. And without them, we couldn't do the programs, even in our basketball, where I think there's 115, 20 teams playing all over the city with volunteer coaches. Takes a lot of time and effort, but they're really appreciated. And without them, we couldn't do the programs. One other thing that I know we have a lot of questions about pickleball. I'm sure you have too. So what we've done at Sportscom on a Tuesday, of course we offer it at all our facilities, but we've gone from 6 a.m. to 8:45 p.m. And you know, when we started it, I said there's not going to be anybody out there at 6 o'clock, but I came in early a time or two, and then the courts are full. We have 3 at 6:15. They're full, playing pickleball, and it's gone all the way up to, the 8:30 mark on Tuesday nights. So we've added that to try to alleviate some of the pickleball problems we have. Of course, that's the fastest growing sport we got right now, especially for over senior adults like myself. So what we're always looking at adding new programs. Any suggestions? Anybody try to tell if anybody's got something to want to see us try and improve on? That's what we'll try to do. And that's about all I've got, other than of course big events coming up. Spring Flings coming up, TSSAA, another huge event that the city hosts. We've got some track meets going on. We've got a lot of stuff going on. So we're trying to cover it all the best we can with quality programs. So anybody got any questions or comments?
Bart, good report. Thank you. You're very busy out there, and we appreciate everything you guys do, and looking forward to the spring fling coming up. And thank you for helping us out with the pickleball courts out there too. So without a doubt.
It's popular.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Lynn.
Good afternoon. Just to kind of wrap up some of the events and different things that we have going on, this Saturday is the Daddy-Daughter Dance at Patterson Park, and we are almost sold out. It's one of our favorite events, so we're excited about that. That's March 9th at Patterson Park. Miracle League, as was mentioned earlier, is about to kick off. March 23rd is the T-shirt pickup day, and we've got fully registered for that. I handed out a graphic for you on Pioneer Days, so that's our big event out at Cannonsburg, and that's April 27th, so you can make sure to mark your calendars for that. We mentioned Spring Fling. The dates for that are May 20th through the 24th, just so you're aware of that. And then we have just started planning on our Juneteenth celebration, which this year will be June 15th. So all the plans for that are underway, and we're excited about that as well. One of the last things I was going to let you know that we have starting is a new podcast that we're going to be working on, and we are partnering with City TV. Michael Nevels is producing that, and it's going to be hosted by Michael Lynn White, and it's going to be called Talking Parks, where we're going to kind of just talk about all things parks, and just kind of try to start spreading the word again more, really a lot about some of the stories like you heard today. Kristen will probably be featured on that at some point and talking about the different things that she does. Ethan with all the things that happen out at Outdoor Murfreesboro. We're going to kick it off with Nate and just kind of sharing our stories about what makes Murfreesboro Parks and Rec so unique and everything that we have going on here. Any questions?
when the podcast starts up, how often will it air?
We're working on that. We're thinking maybe every other month to start, possibly going to once a month. And it will be video and audio.
How many folks in the daddy-daughter dance?
We are at, I actually checked right before I got here, 114 tickets sold already.
Great.
So, yeah,
That's awesome.
yes. There's been a lot of good planning going on for that.
We're always excited about the Miracle League. Thomas, you gonna be pitching out there this year? Okay,
Got my contract re-signed.
there you go.
You know, I have the worst ERA in baseball. I got a new contract.
Very good. Any other questions for Lynn? Thank you.
Thank you.
For all these great events that you've got going on. And I want to call on Mr. Don Turner to give us a little report about the Golf Commission.
Well, the renovation of Old Fort Golf Course is well underway. On January the 8th, the back 9 holes, 10 through 18, were closed, and they began renovation of all the bunkers. That has been completed. They've now reopened that side. The front side now is under construction for the bunkers, holes 1 through 9. I think they will be through with that by the end of this month. The course will then probably shut down completely the 1st of April. They will strip the greens and get them ready for planting when we get some growing weather. The course will probably be closed until late summer, early fall, completely. Now the clubhouse will be open, the practice facilities will be open. And of course, our 6-hole course across the river there, the short course, it will remain open. But the major renovation is underway, and the bunkers that they've already done are really nice. That's it for right now.
That's great, Don. I know your commission has done a lot of work on this over the last few years, and it's good to see it all coming to fruition here, so.
Thank goodness for our commissioners that gave us the money to do this.
Yes, yes. City council.
City council.
And the citizens too, so.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. That is awesome.
Don, are they reshaping at all, making bigger, making smaller, making deeper,
You're talking about
shallower?
you're talking about the bunkers or the greens?
The bunkers.
Bunkers, yes. Leroy, I'd say probably most of them are about half as big as they were before. Some of them are about 1/3 as big as they were before. Beautiful white sand. They must have brought it in from the Gulf. It looks like sand on Pensacola Beach, but they are much smaller. They have filled in where the bunkers were with sod, and they've done a great job. But they are, I'd say, I saw one that was probably the same size. Now they have added a bunker on 18. If you've played out there, there's a bunker on the left side in the fairway. Now they've added one to the right side of the fairway.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
We need
It's
more.
probably about 10 yards shorter than the one on the left. But the bunkers they're nice. They've done a great job.
That's the most positive thing I've ever heard said about a bunker.
Just try to stay out of them.
Could you repeat, when are you expecting to close it again? For the
1st of April.
1st of April.
1st of April, I think the whole course will be shut down, yeah.
Okay.
They'll start stripping those greens and getting rid of the bent grass and get ready for the new Zoysia brand.
Okay, thank you.
We're targeting right now a September open, but we think it might be a little bit earlier than that based on what the golf director yesterday.
Yeah. I think it just depends on the growing season.
When you open it back up, is it going to be, you're not going to open it until all 18 holes are ready to play, or?
Yes.
Okay.
But that should be about the same time. I mean, they'll I think it'll all be ready about the same time.
The reason for that is the greens have to grow in all together so that we could break it up on the front end and do the front 9 and the back 9. But now the greens work, they're going to do all that, and it all has to get that good summer heat to grow.
The greens are going to be just a little bit bigger than they are now. Over the years, the other grass has encroached upon them. And I'd say the edges are going to be probably 1 foot to 3 feet bigger than they are now, just because of the encroaching grass from the outside. So they're going back to what they were originally.
Very good. Awesome. Any other questions for Don? Nate, you've got a few comments for us?
Right, just kind of some housekeeping. We will meet in April. There are a couple of big items that we're going to bring in April. We're going to bring the Greenway Blueway Bikeway Master Plan that's been in work for the past, gosh, almost year. That Kimley Horn is our designer, and they've been working on that. So we'll need to bring that to you for approval and adoption before going to Planning Commission, then City Council. So it's an exciting document. We'll get that in your hands as soon as we can. The second thing, our designer for the Veterans Park is coming to give a presentation and update on where we stand with Veterans Park. And that's just an update so you can see the most recent renderings, you can see how the park's laying out, and the architecture that we're using, the type of playgrounds. And then we will owe the council an update on the budget. So we want to just keep everybody up to date of where we stand. Council's in full support of us building the full park, but we promise to keep them up to date with where the budget stands, and we might have to come back off if, the costs become, prohibitive. So those are a couple things we're going to have in April. We don't anticipate meeting in May. So we'll have these items, and then hopefully we'll bring some online registration updates. We alluded to that earlier. Janelle has really done a great job leading a team to make sure we have everything in the park system available to be able to rent and purchase online. So we'll bring an update on that and have a good April meeting.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, sir. Is there any other business to come up to the commission this month?
Nate, how are things going at the tennis center?
It's going well. Yeah, we're adding more and more programming. We're in the process right now of finalizing our method and our contract for hiring another head tennis pro to have at the facility. MTSU has opened up their facility, so it's a little bit of a relief valve, especially when it's nice outside for some of the players that are able to use that, and they're doing some camps. But we're continuing to add more programming, do as much as we can out there to provide us the best service we can.
Is that relief visible? That MTSU's got its...
Yeah, I'd have to say we'd probably need to see it more in the next month or two, and you could probably see it. Mr. Quiros is here if you want to ask him specifically, but I think they're just now starting their really programming and stuff, but we are going to free up some court time and make it a little bit more readily available for the members at ATC to be able to book a court.
It's first class on both sides, Murfreesboro as well as MTSU, and we greatly appreciate the partnership and the collegiality here.
I'll say this also, we have our design complete for the original 8-court renovation where we're going to be doing new lighting, new fencing, new surfacing. We're removing 2 of the tennis courts and adding 6 pickleball courts. So we'll be getting that out to bid in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully that's within the project budget so we can start on that and have it available as soon as possible.
The pickleball courts, will they be in out of that group of courts that's across the road from the tennis center?
Yeah, so it'd be the 2 furthest courts from the tennis center will become 6 pickleball courts, and there'll be a hitting wall in between those.
Okay.
I'd be glad to send you the most recent layout of how that.
Yeah, that's, it's like they said, that's the hottest thing going. If anybody asks you any questions, it's got pickleball somewhere in it.
Okie dokie. If there's nothing else today, we'll stand adjourned. Good meeting.
Thank you.